So this game is a terror real RPG. This is a new one for me, new one for you, I'm sure too. And it's also an adventure from the company that makes terror real called All Night Horror Marathon. I'm not going to tell you any more about that until we actually start playing, so I don't mess anything up for you. There's 2 sets of rules. We're playing the basic one, the easiest. We will jump straight into character creation. It's super, super simple. The first thing you come up with is a concept, and the 2 examples are disgraced scientist and teenager on vacation. So you just come up with a couple words describing who you are. I would also like for you to have some link between you. So, talk amongst yourselves. Then the traits are literally your character's strength or experience. An example is fast runner or sharp-eyed. You'll create 2 of those, and then you'll create a flaw like fear of blood or clumsy, and it's something that would complicate your survival. And that's it. And then I'll explain the fright meter, which is set at 0 to start with. So,
okay.
What is your
so
concept?
all we actually need to come up with from our own brain palace is 2 traits and a flaw.
And a concept.
Okay.
In your name,
So to determine what we are, and then,
Yeah, what you are, and then 2 traits and 1 flaw and a name. And it's just so you'll know, modern day setting. So right now, you're normal people. You're not superheroes or anything like that.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So how spacey can we get? Can we be like the concept is vampire hunting in Bosnia?
No. Normal people. Normal people.
You could be Lexus engineer.
Yeah. No, for this one, you're like 2 teenagers that are friends or college students, or you're some dude and his wife or whatever, right?
But we're service techs at the same car dealership.
That's fine with me. It doesn't matter to me. You just come up with your concept. And the only thing I'm adding to this is that you figure out how you're linked. What is your relation?
You know what? Let's not get too cute with it. What if we are just like, what if we're just the same peons, like literally at Anytown USA car dealership, and we just work on the floor and our job is to do oil changes all day?
I'm here for that.
So you're 2 mechanics?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a lubrication technician.
There you go. Perfect. Now, for your traits, I would suggest that they aren't Zippo tricks. That didn't work out too well before.
I think that could be really useful this time.
Yeah, so you're saying maybe pick something actually useful. Okay.
Yeah, so you want them to be actual strengths. Let me explain the fright meter before you pick that, just so that you can decide whether or not you want a strength related to it. So the way the fright meter works is it starts at 0. It will go up over time. If it ever hits 10, you're completely frozen, catatonic, or dead, and it's up to me. But as it increases, it will affect your rolls and make things harder for you. The only way to make your fright meter go down is to roleplay a calming moment or using traits that would help steady nerves. And the example is brave leader gives a pep talk to reduce everyone's fright by 1. So that would be the trait, brave leader, right? But you don't have to have a trait to do it at all. You've just got to be in a safe place, calm down. It'll bring your fright meter down. But that's the only way to bring your fright meter down. It will just go up otherwise.
I'm the brake pad replacer in chief.
I'm your lackey, so my trait is following.
You're not the master luber?
Oh, no. I one day I'll be a master lubricator.
Training to be a master lubricator.
Mr. Lubricator and Training.
The publishing company for this game is Rarr, I'm a Monster.
I'm trying to think of the name for like a trait that you would need that the way that like scummy car dealership people lie to customers, you know, like the trait of like making shit up or charming the pants off people for their money, like something like making yourself sound a lot bigger than you are.
Like a snake oil salesman, right?
Great name for it. Yes, that's a good trait.
Snake oil. Snake oiler. Ah, it should have been me.
John, describe your character.
I'm Casper Brooks. I'm good at problem solving and doing dexterous things with my fingers. My flaw is that I can't see anything and I refuse to wear glasses.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Nice. All right, Micah.
I am Rodriguez de Pedro. I am. What'd you say your first name was? Casper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Casper's supervisor. I am extremely good at jury rigging. If you can't make it out of duct tape and twine, you don't need it. And snake oil selling. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I can make any non car tech that comes in here. I can make them believe whatever bullshit. I can tell them their blinker fluid's low, and they're like, "Oh, okay." My flaw is I have an extreme fear of heights. I can't even get up. I mean, if I you couldn't put me on a lift and raise it up a foot off the air. I'd just be terrified.
Cool. Those are good. All right, so I'm going to give you the basic rules. They're simple. I'm going to leave one off because I'm going to introduce it when it happens. But the core mechanic, to do any action, you simply roll 1d6. On 1 to 2, you fail. On 3 to 4, it's a partial success. And on 5 to 6, you achieve it. You can apply your trait if it makes sense to, and it'll add 1 to your roll. If a flaw applies, it subtracts 1. The fright level affects these rolls too. So if your fright level is 3 to 5, instead of rolling 1 die, you roll 2 dice, and you have to take the lower. If your fright level is 6 to 8, you have to roll 2 dice and take the lower, and any result of a 1 immediately gives you a fright meter increase. Anytime that you are in combat, you've got 2 options. You can come up with some action if you want, but the basic 2 are to try to escape or to fight. For escape, you just roll a d6. If it's odd, your escape fails and you're either cornered or further endangered. If it's even, you get away or find temporary safety. For fighting, you can attempt to fend off or outwit the opponent, but doing so is always dangerous. On a 1 to 2, the attack fails and you might be hurt or the situation worsens. On a 3 to 4, it's a partial success, but you might take damage or increase your fright meter. And on a 5 to 6, you succeed and everything's good. And that's it. That's all there is. So this is the basic system for Terror Reel. You guys are apparently horror movie film buffs, and you just got off work, and today of all days is Halloween. Now, the interesting thing is some customer told you guys that the Holloway Theater for one night only was reopening for an all-night horror marathon. This theater hasn't been open in 20 years, right? And you're like, well, we got to take advantage of this. You know, it's Halloween. That place is awesome. Let's go. So you guys drive down to the Holloway Theater, and I'm going to show it to you. And you pull up, and it, sure enough, it's still the same run-down theater that you remember. creepy old theater light bulbs in the marquee blink on and off, and some of them aren't even
I've seen
working.
some of the best shows in places that look just like this.
But the lights are on, so whoever told you that at the dealership must have been telling the truth. And as you're walking up to the door, there's 3 posters up for the movies that'll be playing tonight. One is called The Curse of Dr. Night. The other is Slasher's Night. And the third movie is The Infernal Abyss. You guys head on into the theater, and there's a concession stand. And the concession stand is just as run down as you can
Run by
imagine.
you with hair.
Yeah, just like me, there's this creepy, pale old guy standing there in sunglasses and a jacket, and he's just perfectly motionless, not moving, just staring forward. Do you guys want to get some concessions?
Man, I gotta have a box of Bunch of Crunch. I always get Bunch of Crunch at the movies.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you walk up to the concession attendant, and apparently you got to get your tickets here too, because there was nobody in the booth. So what do you do?
What do you think? I think that Infernal Abyss sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I had heard.
This
We're going to see all of them, right?
Yeah, this is all.
Oh,
of
that's
the
not a
movies.
choice. It's a triple
marathon.
feature. All right.
Right. We sit here all night and watch these movies. I'm stoked as hell for it.
I'm gonna need 2 boxes of Bunch of Crunch. Holy shit!
And like I said, he's
Yeah,
just
I guess-
standing there. He's not moving.
Yes, sir. We need 2 tickets for tonight's show, please.
He reaches under and pulls out 2 red tickets and lays them on the counter. Puts his hand back down and doesn't say a word.
Hey, you got any Bunch of Crunch back there? You know, I always get Bunch of Crunch at the movies.
He turns around, walks over to a shelf, dragging his feet. You hear his feet dragging across the floor. Comes back, lays up a thing of Bunch of Crunch.
I point at the candy next to the Bunch of Crunch and say, "Hey, can I have some of them theirs?"
He turns back around. He sloughs back. He gets it. Comes back. Puts
Doesn't even
down your
say
milk
what it
duds.
is. Just points at it.
You're having milk duds, apparently.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
I just wanted
Still-
to make him shuffle back across the floor.
Hey, thanks, man. How much I owe you?
And he holds up his hand, 5.
I pull out my crisp $5 bill.
Yeah, I go rifling through my pocket and find my $5. Give it to him.
He takes the 5 from you, pushes your candy and tickets forward, and goes back to being a motionless statue. The room you're in is all run down, smells of dust. You do smell the popcorn. That's overpowering. But there's a hallway that goes to a single door that you assume is the theater.
I'm gonna ask him, is that the theater, that hallway?
And his left arm just slowly raises, and he's pointing down that hallway to the door.
Yeah, well, while they're doing this, I'm looking at the ticket to see if I can find like a theater number on it. Oh, that's the only door here. Guess we're going there.
Yeah. So you guys head down the hallway to the theater.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you open the door, and inside is pretty much what you expected. Parts of the ceiling are coming down, but there's a good collection of people in here, all sitting waiting for the show. Of course, the big screen is at the end. There's these bright lit lanterns that run down the sides of the wall, and that's the only light in the room. So where do you want to sit?
When we're making our way to the seats, as we look around, do I notice anything special about the people, or are they all just kind of a bunch of jabronis like we are?
There's kids, there's older people. They look normal. They're talking to each other, eating popcorn and candy, waiting for the movie.
Well, we're obviously going to try to get the best seats. You know, we're going to try to sit right smack in the middle of all the rows, middle horizontally, middle vertically.
Absolutely.
All All right, so you make your way down and you find 2 seats and you sit down and you notice in front of you is a older guy, late 40s, maybe early 50s, in a suit, and he's sitting there with a drink waiting. And on the same row as you, all the way to the left, is obviously a goth chick. She's about 20 years old, probably.
Oh,
but
we're
she's
loving what we're seeing. It's going to be a good night.
she's all painted white with the black lipstick and got the choker collar on, and she's just sitting there staring at the screen. She doesn't have any candy or drink or anything. It's just like she's bored and waiting. You guys sit there for a little while, and then the lights start to dim, and a spotlight appears on the stage right in front of the screen, and you hear footsteps before you see him, but this man in a long coat and a wide-brimmed hat walks out onto the stage, and he's facing the crowd, and everybody just kind of gets quiet, and he raises his hands and he says, "Welcome, my guests, to a night of thrills and chills. Each film a journey, each journey an end. I promise you, tonight you will witness horror as never before." And then he puts his hands down and he turns around and he walks back off the stage.
Hell yeah.
It was really quiet there for a minute, but then people start cheering and clapping their hands. Woo, and then the lights go completely
me
dark.
too. I'm one of them. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Pull out my big seal clap.
yeah, exactly. We're both seal clapping. This is the most fun we're gonna have all week from our bullshit wage cuck job.
And the lights go completely dark, and then the projector starts from behind you up high, and the screen goes white, and then you see the number 5, and it's a reel, 4, and a reel, and it counts down to 1, and then you see the title screen in black and white, The Curse of Dr. Knight. And this organ music starts, the and everybody cheers. And as you're staring at this, it's like the screen starts to wobble and wave, and this massive feeling of nausea hits you. And you feel like vertigo and disorientation, and you're just sitting there, shaking your head like, what is this? What is this? And
yeah, buddy.
That is the horror horn. When you hear the horror horn, your fright level goes up by 1. So all of your fright levels are at 1 now.
Yes.
Hell yeah, the horror horn.
This is a Pavlovian thing. So
should we change that ourselves on our own stat sheet?
Okay. Yeah, on your sheet. Right. Move it up to mark it as 1.
That 1.
So that feeling of vertigo and nausea hits you, and then it's like your eyes are rolling back in your head, and you're moving forward, and you're on the ground, and you're still dizzy, you're still disoriented, and you open your eyes and you're laying in dirt, and you push yourself up, and you look around, and you look at each other, and you're both black and white. And you turn and look to your left, and you are on that street looking at what you saw on the screen.
Shit.
Yeah, shit indeed. Have either of us seen this movie before? Do we know anything about the setting or like the town we're in or whatever?
Never heard of it.
Shit.
But this is bad. It's the horror horn. And you hear behind you, what's going on? You look back, and it's the guy that was sitting in front of you in the suit. He's like, what's happening? He's reaching out with his hands like He's trying to feel something. He's like, I know what this is. This is one of those virtual reality things all the kids do now. They should have told us about this. Like he's like in y'all's face. They should have told us this, because I get sick easily with those things. My kid bought one of those stupid things and I puked. This is ridiculous. Where's management?
I'm like,
And he's
I
just
don't know, man. I think they sold me some expired Bunch of Crunch. I don't feel so good.
And there's fog all in the tree line and all around this town. And towards the center of the town, you see all these torches. There's just tons of torches. And you see these people huddled in the torches. Some of them are hugging each other and they're looking towards you and whispering. And one of them's waving at you. It's like, come on, come on.
Fuck it. I guess we walk over there.
I think we got Jumanji'd into this here movie.
That's true. We did the same thing last time. How do we keep getting Jumanji'd into stuff?
Jumanji's a theme, apparently. Yeah. So you guys walk forward, and there are all these people in this, like, you know, it's like the old Dracula movies you've seen. You know, they're in these old peasant type clothing, and as you approach, some of them like move back in the crowd, like they're afraid of you, and you know, some of the others are holding sticks and a hammer. One dude's standing there with this old-fashioned looking hammer, and they're just looking at you like, what are you doing? Get into the light.
Hello, my fellow wagemen.
How do you do, fellow peasants? It is we, peasants from 200 years from now. So I won't speak for John. I walk in through the crowd trying to get closer to the light. Do I see what it is they're like gathered around? I mean, is it something other than the light? Do I see anything?
This is a town square with all these buildings and hovels. It's a mixture of homes and, you know, like horse stalls and things like that.
Okay.
But they've got these torches in a big circle around the center. And it's like multiple layers of torches, and they're all just huddled up in the center of this.
What's your character's name, Micah?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, get in there and take a look. I can't tell what's in there. I can't see shit.
All right. I get closer to the torches and try to like peek between a couple of them and see if I can see if there's something like, are they encircled in something or what's going on? Like what's everybody staring at?
Yeah. And, you know, people kind of like move out of your way. There's nothing in the circle. It's just the people. And they're like, why are you here, stranger? Why would you come here? At night, especially.
Oh, I didn't know how dangerous it was at night. What's going on here?
What are you talking about? At night, everybody has to come to the protection of the light.
Really? Why does the light protect you? As you might imagine, I've still got my uniform with my name sewed on the patch. I'm like, I'm not from here. Why do we have to be in the light now?
Okay, give me a roll to see if you can get somebody to talk to you. Because, like I said, most of these people just back away from you because you're a stranger.
6.
Ooh, you rolled a 6. So, fantastic success. This older woman in a shawl comes stepping up towards you. She's got gray hair and a shawl on. And she says, "Welcome, strangers. My name is Helena. I am the herbalist. I don't know how you got here or where you came from, but when it gets dark, you have to come to the town center to be protected by the light."
Whew. Helena, I wish you could see the hurricane they're going to name after you. So is Is everybody in the whole town gathered around the light?
Yes, this is the whole town.
Huh.
There's might be 25 people there.
Well, what happens if you don't gather around the light? I mean, we just going to do this all night?
And one of the women in the crowd points behind her up towards the hill at the big house. And she says, Dr. Knight. And Helena like shushes her, and she turns to you and she says, Dr. Knight rules the land when darkness comes. And if you go outside of the light, his beasts will tear you apart.
Well, that's just the kind of horror I came here for.
Good news for you, Helena. That's what we signed up for. So, Dr. Knight wouldn't, by any chance, live in that big, scary-looking house up on the hill, would he?
Yes, the one that she just pointed at.
Oh, yeah, she didn't tell me that. I'm looking at the picture and not looking at Helena. Huh. Well, what is it that the beasts are looking for? Why would they try to get us if we go outside the light?
They're not looking for anything. He just tortures us. He plays his evil, wicked game and kills any that stray out of the light.
I don't know about that, Helena. I think I can take him.
She looks at you and she frowns and she goes, I don't know where you come from, stranger, but this is no game. Your life is in jeopardy, just as all of ours. If you stray into those woods, if you stray outside of this light, you will die. A horrible death.
Well, is there anybody around here that has had a close call or survived an encounter with these beasts?
As you're saying that, this big dude comes pushing his way through the crowd, and he is like, that's enough, Helena. Don't waste your breath on these idiots. They obviously aren't meant to live long. They're not taking you seriously. Don't waste your breath on them. Show them the woods. Let them find out the hard way. And she turns to him and she's like, no, they don't understand. Have compassion. And he's like, bah. And he walks back over in the corner, and you can see his blacksmith shop is all lit up. There's torches all around it. He goes back over and he's just hammering. He's angry, and he's just beating this fiery hot metal.
See, that's a serious man. I want to walk over and talk to that guy in his blacksmith shop.
All right, when you walk up, he doesn't acknowledge your existence. He's just hammering.
I'm going to be like, hey, man. You seem like you know something about what's going on here.
He says, get out of my shop. He goes, you're not going to make it here, and I will not have you come into our town and make fun of those who suffer daily.
All right, Giga Chad. It looks like we got off on the wrong foot. I'm not making fun of anybody. I want to help you all if there's some kind of problem here.
He puts his hammer down and lays his head back and just rolls with laughter. He was like, you are going to help us.
Hey, I help a lot of people. Y'all don't have duct tape yet, but you'd be surprised what I could do with it.
That's true on a daily basis.
He looks at you.
Actually,
goes,
still true today.
Duct tape? Like he's just imagining those two things, a duck. What is tape?
Yeah, you wouldn't get it, but your great-great-grandchildren are going to love it.
And Helena followed you guys into the blacksmith shop, and she's like, we must help them. Maybe they can help us. And he's like, look at them. Look at their weird clothing. and they're mocking us. And she's like, I don't think they're mocking us. I just don't think they understand. And she looks at you and she says, we've been under Dr. Knight's curse now for many years. And the only way you could help us is to destroy him.
What exactly is the nature of the curse? What'd y'all motherfuckers do?
And the blacksmith starts laughing. He's like, yes, Helena. Tell them what they need to do to destroy Dr. Knight. And she gets this sick look on her face, and she looks at you and she says, we don't know. No one that has ever tried has returned.
Well,
Sounds promising.
What's the best lead you have? If you go through the woods, is that a path to the house?
That is the only path to his mansion, but the only thing that has staved off his evil beasts is light.
What if me and Brother Casper here, and I point at him and we both got our name tags right on us, you know. What if we took a couple of torches and maybe some of the cool stuff you made in this here blacksmith shop, and we just went into the woods and looked around?
The blacksmith puts his hammer down and he says, enough of this. He says, Helena, get your herbs. And she gets excited and nods her head, and she runs off into her shop. And he's just standing there and he's looking around his blacksmith shop when she comes back. And he walks over and turns around and slams on the table these 2 silver swords and looks at you and says, this is all I can do to help you. These are pure silver. She is going to apply her herbs to them that, when ignited with flint, will set it afire. And she will give you herbs to keep putting on your swords. The beasts, you can kill them. They are immune to silver. But that's all I can do to help you. Good luck. And he laughs again, and he goes back over and starts hammering. And she's like, yes, I have a good feeling. I think you can help us. And she hands you, each of you, this pouch of herbs. And then she's like, let me show you how to apply it. And she walks over and she literally spits on these swords and takes a handful of it and starts rubbing it into the metal. And it sticks. And then the blacksmith walks over and picks one of them up and strikes it against a rock, and it just bursts into flame.
Oh,
and he hands
it
to
serious. Okay.
He hands it to Casper, and then he goes, that's it. And then he goes back over and he starts hammering.
Thank you, Giga Chad.
Yeah. Thank you, Giga Chad.
Casper, you're standing there with a flaming sword. Rodriguez, you've got the other silver sword, and Helena has given both of you the pouch of herbs. When you pick those up, you hear the crowd outside begin to scream, and they're running around in the light and pointing, and you hear this sound, this earth-shaking sound.
Let's go see what happened.
Do I have time and all the chaos to try and repeat the procedure she did and like spit on the sword and rub the herbs and see if I can get mine lit up?
Yeah. You can do it real fast.
All right, yeah, I want mine lit up too. I want us both to run out there with flaming swords.
Yeah, so you're like and rubbing on it, and then you smash it against a rock, and it just bursts into flames. Right, and you guys run out and look up, and everybody's looking towards the mansion. Out of the top of the mansion, you just see this plume, almost like a tornado, right? And it's going up, and then it's shifting over the trees, and it rushes towards the town and blows out all of the torches. It's just it's a tornado wind just gusting through, and everybody's just screaming and running. You look to your left, you look to your right.
Yeah, buddy.
And you just see eyes everywhere coming out of the woods towards the people.
Should we manually increase our fright meter for that?
Yep. So you're at 2 now, right? Yeah. So you're feeling this. You are afraid. You are genuinely afraid. These hideous wolves start circling into the camp, and they're not wolves like you've ever seen before. These wolves have a large head in the center and 2 small ones coming out of their cheeks, and these glowing red eyes, and they're just circling. One of them breaks loose and comes running at Casper with those teeth chomping. What do you do, Casper? Now remember the rules. You can try to escape. That doesn't mean, run 40 miles away. That just means you get to a safe place. Or you can attempt to fight it. Or you can give me some other action. But for combat, it's encounters, fighting, or a normal action.
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about myself with my flaming sword, so I'm gonna try to parry with it.
All right. So you'll roll a 1d6 and apply a trait if you've got one that works.
I'm dexterous.
Ah, nice. So that got you a 5, right?
5, yes.
All right. So this thing, when it comes running at you, what do? You succeed. So you describe.
I hold it out like this, and just like right where I think it's running, and like look away.
So you do that. This thing
Brave warrior.
is just explodes with speed towards you. And like I said, those 2 side heads are chomping. And the big one's head, it's a giant head. This thing opens up like an alligator, right? Like it's going to eat you. And you push your sword forward and look away, and it goes right down its throat. And when it does, this entire wolf creature just bursts into flames. It just burns, and it burns to just embers floating in the air in a pile of ash.
Hell yeah, I knew we had magical swords.
You see a couple of the wolves pounce on some of the people in front of you and just start tearing them to pieces, and body parts are flying everywhere, blood's flying everywhere. One dives through the air and it's flying at you, Rodriguez.
Me, if this is one action, what I want to try to do, out of the way, somehow evade, but also get one of the torches near to me lit up. Like bring back the light, basically. Like light as many torches as I can. Is that?
Yeah, I'm going to say do escaping for that one.
All right. So an escape roll is a regular
1d6.
D6 or do it a two? Okay, one of them.
It's 1d. I'll give you a choice. You can either do escape for this or fighting. If you do escape, you roll 1d6 and odds fail, even succeed. If you fight, only 5 and 6 succeed, but you can apply one of your traits to it.
I have a great trait for that. I'll try the escape to like dodge it and focus on an unlit torch. Oh, that's fail, right? You said odds fail?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you try to dodge and get this torch lit, and this creature was flying through the air when you did that, and it hits your shoulder. It goes sailing past you into the blacksmith shop. You go tumbling onto the ground, and you knock the torch on the ground. About this time you hear, ah, and here comes the businessman running into the circle with a huge torch in his hand lit. And he's just doing like this, and he's laughing, and he's looking over at you guys, and he's like, have you never played video games before? My kids do this all the time. He's like, this isn't real. Quit acting like you're
trying to
afraid.
light the torches, you son of a bitch.
just hold the torch up. And everybody's like looking in shock at him as these wolves are running around. He's just standing in the middle, just doing like this, like he's literally playing a video game like it's nothing, right? And the blacksmith yells out, The foreigner has the right idea. We have to get the torches lit. Everyone, get the torches lit. These wolves are ripping some people apart. Other people are getting some of the torches lit. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna help them light torches.
Yeah, same here. I'm going to go back to what I was trying to do anyway.
All right, you go first, Casper.
Let's see. So this is like a core mechanic.
Yeah, you can do it as a core mechanic. You're just trying to light torches. You're ignoring wolves.
5.
Yeah. So you actually get, well, you can use your trait of dexterous for that too, right? You're ripping through there. So you get 2 of these torches lit and back up in place. And when you get them up in place, the wolves that are next to them tear off into the woods. Those 2 are gone. There's still a bunch of these things roaming around, ripping into people. All right. Rodriguez.
Yeah, same thing. I'm going to try to light a couple of them, and I think I can call my jury rigging skill on that one. I think that counts as rigging something up.
Okay.
So that's still just 1d6, even at 2 feet, right?
Yeah, it's 1d6, and you'll add 1. 5. Nice. You were on the ground, and you roll over and rip the back of the shirt off of one of the corpses and wrap it around the sword, and the sword ignites, and you just lean over and light one of the torches back.
Yeah.
When you do, one of the wolves that was there just screams in rage and runs off into the woods. There's enough torches now that the villagers, you can tell they've done this before. They're picking them up and they're driving the wolves back. They're just walking towards them. The wolves are backing from them as people behind them begin lighting them until all of the wolves are gone. You see that, and the wolves leave the same way they came. The last thing you see are their eyes at the edge of the woods looking, and then they're gone. And now the aftermath, body parts everywhere, people crying, people trying to help the wounded. What do you guys do?
Have y'all ever heard of propane?
Or propane accessories?
Exactly. I think this is a great business opportunity for us, Rodriguez.
Yeah, these people need to learn what a gas can is. learn what a Coleman campfire stove is.
So do remember, I'll remind you, your fright meter is at 2. So you're still calm, you're still capable of rational decisions. But the only way to make it decrease is, like I said, to have a calming moment or use a trait that helps steady nerves. So if you want to do something like that, you have to tell me.
So do we?
Okay, so what I'm going to do, this might be, I don't know if this counts as snake oil salesman trait, but I'm going to we're getting the torches lit. People are like standing up. I'm going to try to give everybody a pep talk about like, we just watched one of those things get killed. They are clearly scared of the light. They walking around with fire is enough. Like these things are defeatable. Like we do not have to be this scared. We 100% can go into the woods, pick off a couple, make our way up to this house. Like this whole thing can be broken, like rah, we can do it, guys.
Yeah. Your confidence bolsters them, and you hear several of them go, "They're the chosen ones. They're the ones the prophecy told us about."
Just a couple of idiots from the car dealership.
They would come and, kill Dr. Knight. This is wonderful. And even the blacksmith, he's like, "You did pretty good. It was probably luck, but you saved many of our townspeople." There were only like 25 to begin with. There's like 20 now.
But Giga Chad, I told you we could do it.
What do you want to do now? Oh, and as after you do that, you look over and the businessman's just sitting on the stool, and he keeps doing like this, like
It,
shaking his head, reaching up like he's trying to remove goggles, but he's just like, "This is insane. How are they doing this?"
is he the only one that we recognize from the theater?
Yeah, yeah. It seems
Interesting.
like it's just the three of you.
So Goth Girl's not there with us.
Mm-mm.
Dang. Um,
Yeah, I look over at him like, pretty immersive experience, huh?
I'm suing. That's what he says.
so, Rodriguez, do you think we're actually in this world?
Buddy, I don't think so, but I do think that so far, maybe we should just conduct ourselves as though we are, just to be safe.
Hmm. Maybe we could punch the businessman and see if he screams.
That's true. I guess if we punch him and nobody, none of the none of the concierges from the theater show up, then I guess we'll know we're in we're in the real thing. Yeah, that's a good idea, brother. Go smack him in the head with the butt of your sword, just to be safe.
I'm gonna go over there, but instead of smacking him with it, I'm gonna be nice and I'm just gonna like flick him in the side of the head.
Yeah, you feel it, and he goes, "What are you doing?
Well,
How dare you?"
that just confirmed we're in the real world, my friend.
The real world.
This is real. This
Uh-huh.
ain't no VR video game.
Yeah. He looks you over. And he notices your patch and the stains on your clothes and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You believe whatever you want, old jockey, but somebody's going to be sued, and if you flick me again, touch me, or look at me wrong, you're going on the list as well. Now I'm leaving." And he stands up and he starts walking back towards the way y'all came, and he's like, "I'm just going to go up the path. The only way to get out of the game is to finish it. So I'm going through the woods here up to that castle, and then I'm going to sue somebody. And I mean sue them. And I can because I'm a lawyer." And he turns around and starts walking, and Helena grabs him, and she's like, no, you can't go that way. You will die. And he's like, "Get off me." And you guys just see him headed towards that gap in the woods there, towards the castle. You start seeing those eyes again.
Dumbass.
And you're staring, wondering what's going to happen to him. And you hear blood-curdling screams and growls as these wolves rip him to shreds. So your meter went down by 1 for your calm talk. It's now back up 1. So you both should be at, I guess, 2.
Mm-hmm.
You do really believe this is real now.
That's what he gets for not carrying a light source around with him.
Unless you want to
Fancy
go
lawyer,
check
man.
and make sure that he's dead,
Oh, that's true. If it's a video game, his body won't be there when we get over there.
Right.
It's the universal law of video games.
So what do you want to do?
Can I grab one of the lit torches and carry a torch in one hand and the sword in the other?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna grab a torch and walk it over there to where his corpse is, and just see if I notice anything in particular about the corpse.
The only thing you notice in particular is he appeared to be about a 6 foot tall, 200-pound man, and now he's about 15 feet wide because his entrails literally are across the entire path, hanging up in trees, and he's been mauled to shreds.
Okay, yeah, that's real enough for me.
Did you go with him, Casper?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, both of your fright goes up one.
Hell yeah.
You're unnerved. Yeah, you roll 2 dice and take the lower result.
Let's do this. I want to try for a calming moment. I want us to walk back over to Helena's like herb shop thing and ask her, look around, fire in hand, seems pretty safe. She knows about all this stuff. Ask her, like, look, we think we've got enough here. We're going to march our happy asses up to the mansion. Is there anything else that you can give us or tell us that would help?
She looks at you real sadly and shakes her head, and she says, no, but I will pray for you.
Well,
That's something.
yeah, that might be what keeps us alive. Ready to go, Casper.
Yep, I think that's our only way out of here.
Let's take our flaming swords and go up the wooded path.
You've rested, you've calmed down, you talked to her, so you should be back to 2 fright, all right?
Yes.
All right, so you start heading up this path. There's an eerie silence. There's fog all through the darkness, and you're only casting light out maybe 10, 15 feet from these torches. And are your swords lit?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got a sword in one hand and a torch in the other. And
Yeah.
okay, so 15, 20 feet is lit up in front of you. You don't see anything. It's just these creepy old gnarled trees. You hear rustling. You hear something moving in the woods all around you. And you keep walking and you keep walking. Okay. And ahead of you, you see wolves.
Fucking again.
With their glowing eyes staring at you. And they'll dart in and out of the path. And your fright level goes up 1. You can't help but be afraid. There's so many of these things, and they're so evil looking.
Who's a good puppy? You boop him on the nose.
Who's a good boy? Are you the goodest boy? Yes, you are.
And you hear behind you movement. And to your left, movement and growling. And to your right, movement and growling.
Can I turn around in a panic and like wave the torch around and see if I can see anything more or see if they'll back off?
Yeah, and as soon as you do, you see eyes recede.
Okay. That's not nothing.
So what's your plan for getting all the way to that mansion?
We're going to do the tactical back-to-back walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tactical back-to-back walk and keep the fire lit. One sword or one torch has to be lit at all times.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to make you do 1 roll each for this whole trip.
All right. So this is, our fright meters are both at 3, right?
Yeah, so you'll have
to 2d6, and we take the lower.
You take the lower, but if you can apply a trait, you could add 1 to it.
Yeah, you should jerry-rig something to make your light brighter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for jury rigging by looking around on the ground and finding just like the deadest leaves and pine straw and stuff, and just grab it by the handfuls and just feed it onto the torch to make little moments of just like super bright light.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you do a +1 for that.
All right.
So it's 1d6. So you would roll 2 of them and take the lowest. So what was the first 2 you rolled?
Wait a minute. The first 2 I rolled was a 5 and a 2.
So you'd take the 2 and add 1, which would make it a 3.
So 3, yeah.
Yeah, so for 3, it's a partial success, but there's a cost or complication. So You do that, and it does work, but somehow you dropped your pouch of herbs and you don't have any more. So now there's only one pouch of herbs between you. Casper,
I rolled a 1.
you rolled a 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So you failed completely. So
I rolled a 1 and a 6. You know.
Okay. So which one of you is walking backwards?
Well, I think I was already turned around, so I was swinging the torch around. So let's just say I was walking backwards.
Casper is extra freaked out and he's waving stuff around, and you're almost back to back touching with him as you're going, and Casper doesn't notice it, but there's a pothole and he steps in it and he hits the ground, and his torch flies out of his hand, and you come tumbling over the top of him and hit the ground too. And when you do, the wolves descend. They just surround you and they're coming to attack. So do you want to fight them, or do you want to try to escape?
Is my torch or sword still lit?
Your sword, both of your swords are still lit, but the torches are out. Both of your swords are lit, but Casper dropped his, when he hit the ground, his sword flew out of his hand. Do y'all want to try to escape or fight?
Okay, the first thing I want to do is try and pull myself to my feet and pull him up, like help him up, so that whatever we're doing it fast.
Okay. Well, instead of telling me what you're doing, just tell me, are you going to try to escape or fight? Because your roll's going to tell me whether or not you succeed at what you're talking about.
What do you think, John? The swords are still lit. Should we try for it? I actually think we should try for it, because if we run, we'll just run away from the location where your torch was dropped, and we'll never find it.
Yeah. I need to pick up my sword and my torch.
Well, if you
still have your
succeed at
sword on.
escaping, you can scoop it up as you go, right? If you fail at escaping, that's different.
Okay, well that's a move we could try. We could try escape, search for the torch on the way out, and try to get them both lit, like while we're on the run.
Yeah, so think of this as this is a scene roll. An entire scene is going to occur based on the results of this.
Okay.
So if you succeed, it's going to be a real success. But if you fail, it's going to be a real failure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So a success is like a success at like 7 different things. It's not like we're going to roll for each individual part of this plan. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Considering that, actually, I think we should try for the escape, grab a torch on the way. I've still got my torch on me. I'm just going to try. I will get it lit with the sword, make some light, escape, grab your torch on the way out while we're running. Like, maybe I'll make enough fire that, we can beat these things back for a second.
Yeah, I like that. Keep on moving down the trail.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for the escape.
So who got the 1 and who got the 6?
Or got the 1, I got the 6.
Okay. So you are able to you reach over, grab your torch real quick before these wolves bite your face off, and smash your sword against the torch. It immediately lights. Those wolves back away. You jump up and grab Casper and start running towards the mansion, and Casper reaches down to get his sword and misses. And you just push him in front of you, holding the sword up to one side and the torch up, and you guys run all the rest of the way through this and up the hill to the base of the mansion.
Okay, so now we're down to 1 sword and 1 torch, but they're both lit at least.
Yes.
And 1 pouch of herbs.
And your fright goes up 1 because you are literally terrified from that. So what are you at? 4?
Yeah.
It's the same result at this point. What are you guys going to do now? You're out
Well,
of
I
the
want to go
woods.
ahead.
You're at the
If
base.
we're walking up to the front of this mansion, I want to go ahead and hand the torch to Casper so we at least have some fire, one of each, and then walk up to the, I don't know, gate or whatever it is. Like, what does the front fascia of the mansion look like?
Looks just like the photo. It's a giant mansion with multiple spires going up to the sky and a big oak door. You could open this and drive a wagon through it. It's such a big door. And I'm going to point one thing out that I've been doing wrong the whole time and reward y'all for it. I can just tell you that your fright goes up because of something happening, just like what just occurred to you, and it does. But when that horror horn sounds, you roll a 6-sider. On a 1 to 3, it does go up. On a 4 to 6, you hold your nerve. So what I'm going to let you do, what are you guys currently at?
4.
4. I'm going to let you drop down to, how many times is that horror horn going off? 1,
Either 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay, so to be fair, I'm going to let you drop down to 2. So you're currently calm, but one more and you'll be back to rolling at disadvantage. So you're standing in front of this giant creepy mansion in that giant oak door. What do you want to do?
I think
Well, we got to knock on the door and have us a talk with this Dr. Knight. Surely he's a reasonable feller.
that's
just,
what I'm wondering. Do we swing one of them like huge door knockers, or do we just kind of try to slide the door open and sneak in?
but someone has to make a joke about the knockers. What massive knockers?
Yeah, the door with the big old knockers on it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Big swinging knockers, gold plated.
So,
Yeah, let's inspect this door for booby traps.
Yeah, can we do if we're doing this in the format of like scenes? Could we?
well, I'm switching back and forth, right?
Okay. Okay.
If you want to do particular actions right now, you can, but sometimes I'm doing it as scenes.
Okay. So one thing I want to know right now, I don't want to storm in yet. I want to pause and catch our breath while we're standing here. But from this front entryway, can we see inside any of the windows?
I'm going to say no. They're like stained glass, but they're dark. So you guys are investigating the outside of the building. Both of you give me a roll.
Right.
Yeah, you
I don't think we've done a single one tonight where somebody didn't hit a 1.
You don't notice anything other than the fact that you can't see in it at all.
So I'm going to pull out my phone.
Okay.
And I've got I've got old Greg downloaded on my phone. And we're going to sit on the railing next to the front door. And we're going to watch old Greg.
Okay.
I got something that'll make you feel better.
I like this a lot.
Because me and Rodriguez, we go way back. We watch old Greg on our lunch break every day.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. Just sitting around having some fun, laughing at some funny videos to try to calm down. That's a good one.
All right. That will. You don't have to roll for that.
Okay.
that will lower your fright meter by 1.
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen
we
that.
might
forever.
we might survive for a minute. We're at a 1 now, right? We were at a 2 before that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're feeling good. We lost a sword.
Yeah,
That's okay.
One torch, one sword, one bag of herbs for the sword.
All right, your rest is over.
Yeah,
So
it's good enough. Maybe.
So, do we knock the knockers?
You know I love the knockers.
It's
hard to
both of
resist.
us love a good pair of knockers.
We could each grab one knocker
Oh yeah,
and just smack them together. Yeah.
hell yeah. I think that's the way to go.
Let's do it. Let's do
okay.
it.
So you bang, both of you are just boom, boom, and you hear the sound just echoing like the entire inside of this mansion is just hollow, right? It's just this reverberating whoa, whoa, and the doors start opening. And when they open, inside you just see swirls of energy, purple and black and red. And you see eyes will appear burning, like fire coals. And in the center of the room, sitting behind a large table, you see who could only be Dr. Knight. Is completely shrouded in this robe, and he has a black tie on and these glasses. These little demons are flying around him, and there's scissors and all these strange instruments that he appears to be working on some contraption, and he's just staring forward, and he laughs. As you're standing there, you're just terrified because you've never seen anything like this in your life. It's the strangest sight ever. And everybody give me a roll. 1 die.
All right, so I heard the horn, so I'm setting my fear to 2. Fright meter should be at 2 right now.
Yeah.
Now,
So
Well, you
Micah
rolled to
failed.
determine if that was my roll that failed.
You're right.
All right. So
Micah did not fail.
So Casper is overcome with fright, and you're at what now? 2?
2.
Okay. So you're still calm, but you're getting there. It didn't bother Rodriguez at all. He's just
I'm actually thanks to my jury rigging trait, I'm very interested in this guy's contraptions. Like the shit he's got on the desk that he's working on. Like I'm kind of like peeping over the desk, like, what you got there?
Yeah, and he's just staring forward, and he'll look down and tinker with this little toy man that looks like he has a camera on his chest. It's just crazy stuff. It's like a mixture of he's an engineer and there's all this occult stuff going on, like some spell is occurring and these little demons are flying around. It's just an amalgamation of every kind of terrible thing there could be. And
man, we're mechanics. Our natural enemy is engineering. We hate these motherfuckers.
And his eyes are glowing, and he just titters, and he's just laughing. And
no one has ever gotten this far before and entered my sanctum. This will be so fun. Come in. You will die.
Luke Rodriguez, that man's got a funny voice.
Yeah, man, I told you he's a Muppet.
That's a weird motherfucker right there.
Old contraption Muppet.
all right, so what do you do?
Being the eloquent wordsmiths that we are, we attempt to begin a dialogue with who we assume is Dr. Knight.
Okay.
Mainly by building up his character and saying how impressive everything he's built here is.
Yeah, I want to pull some like, oh, you must be the illustrious Dr. Knight. You got some cool shit in here. Them are awesome contraptions. We're contraption people too.
Really? That's most interesting. Maybe I don't have to kill you immediately. Come, tell me more.
Ooh.
No, my pets, do not. None touch them until I tell you to. And then you may feast.
Well, we mainly work on these contraptions that burn dinosaur juice that make heat and rotational energy.
Somebody's going to invent one someday. Might be you. You ain't seen it yet, but it's really impressive.
This is most interesting. Dinosaur juice. Ah.
Yeah, you know how your only light when there's no sun comes from fire? We can just make that in little bulbs.
What universe do you come from? You
The
must come from another
future.
universe because none of the local rabble could have ever gotten here on their own.
I don't know, man. Have you seen Giga Chad the blacksmith? He's he comes up with cool stuff.
That's
He
why
is
hands
a
a
looker.
motherfucker. Dr. Knight's got a crush on Giga Chad.
Okay, so before we go much further, what are you trying to accomplish here? Because I'm going to make you roll for it.
I don't even know. I'm just bullshitting with him. I
Same.
have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, are you trying to derive something, forestall your doom? What are you thinking about here?
Let's see if we can figure out why he's there. Like what is he doing?
Forestall our doom, and also look for weaknesses or look for signs of like breaking the curse. You know, like if there's one extremely obvious glowing relic in the corner of the room, if you break that, it'll probably break a curse. You know what I mean? Like I want to look around for that type of stuff.
Okay. All right, so you want to look around for some obvious thing that can break the curse. What is Casper trying to do?
Sweet talk him into telling us like what his end goal is for like why he's where he is and why he's torturing the townsfolk.
Gotcha. Both of you give me a roll.
Yeah, buddy.
1 and a 2.
Yeah, buddy.
That is failed and has a consequence, and the other was failed and has a consequence.
Ultra fail.
You keep trying to talk to him. You keep saying all this stuff, trying to butter him up. He notices what Rodriguez is doing, how he's plundering and looking around. A bunch of the tools that he has go flying across the room and into you. All these little knives and screwdrivers just slam into you, and your fright meter goes up 1. You are in pain. You are bleeding because you've got all these pieces of metal in your body.
This is just like when the shop hand turned his tool chest over on top of me.
And he looks over into the shadows, and you can't see what he's looking at. He says,
Yes, my pet, you may have the other one.
and one of those 3-headed wolf things comes flying at you, Casper. What do you do?
Attempt to dodge out of the way. Run away, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll have to do an escape roll then.
Cool.
And this thing
We're not even going to max out our fear before we die.
this thing latches onto you and just starts tearing into you. Your fright meter goes up 2. So you see this Rodriguez, this wolf thing is on him and ripping at him. You yourself are injured, and Dr. Knight is just sitting there still tinkering with that little toy. What do you want to do?
So all the screwdrivers and shit that flew at me. Did you say it knocked me prone? I'm on the ground.
No, you're standing there. You're standing there with a screwdriver stuck out your shoulder and a pair of scissors in your side and some weird sharp tool sticking out of your thigh.
I want to try and rip the screwdriver out of my shoulder and swing my sword down at this thing that's on top of Casper.
Okay. That's a fighting roll.
All right. That's my fear is only 2, so that's just 1d6, right?
Yep. And you can add a skill to it if you've got one.
No skills that are going to help me with that.
So you rolled a 2.
Yeah.
You go to
Dude,
swing.
John, scroll back through our history of dice rolls. It is the most abysmal game.
You go to stab this thing in the back, and as your hand's moving forward, its left head reaches up and clamps down on your sword arm. Fuck. So this thing is on top of Casper, ripping into him. your arm is in the jaw of another one, and all you hear is,
Yeah, we deserve that.
and your fright meter goes up, Rodriguez.
I'm now at a 3.
Casper, what do you do? Escape or fight?
Escape.
All right. Give me a roll. Wait, what's your fright? Well, no, it doesn't matter for this.
And that's why I escape. But it doesn't matter because I rolled an odd number.
Wait, what is your fright meter at?
5.
5. So you have to roll 2 dice and take the lower. So roll another one and hope it's a 2 or a 4.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
It's a 4.
Hey.
You escape. So how do you escape?
Oh, okay. So I start squirming around. I pull out my phone again, and I turn the flashlight on.
Okay. So you turn on the blinding flashlight into this 3-headed wolf's face, and it immediately bursts into flames, turns into cinders, and dust all over you.
Okay. We might have a fighting chance.
My pet! You killed my pet!
We'll get you some more one day.
Dr. Knight didn't like that.
Well, if you were a gracious host, I would not have killed your pet.
What do you do, Rodriguez?
I was gonna say try to escape from this dog, but now my hand is free. I'm gonna pull the scalpel or scissors or whatever it is out of my leg, and just mad now. I'm gonna try to take my sword and slam it down on the little camera contraption thing that Dr. Knight's working on. Just crush it into a billion pieces.
Cool. Go for it.
Let's see, so a fright meter of 3, is that 2d6?
Yeah, take the lowest.
Eat shit.
You bring the sword down right between his hands, and the whatever contraption he was working on explodes, and it explodes in his face, and he screams and stands and backs away from the table. He's rubbing at his, you guess he has a face. You can't tell. All you can see are these glowing eyes and a hood, and he's backing away, picking all of this crap, these bits of metal out of his face. What do you do, Casper?
I think I should try to tackle him. I'm going to try to tackle Dr. Knight.
Okay, go for it.
That.
3.
Don't you have some kind of, you're dexterous, right?
Oh yeah, dexterity would help there, so it's a 4.
That gives you a 4. So
Like a spider monkey.
So that's a partial success. So you dive forward and tackle him to the ground, but he rolls with you, and now he's sitting on top of you.
I yell out to Rodriguez, "Quick, take his mask off. This is a Scooby-Doo situation."
Yeah, I'll go along with that. I'll try to reach down and rip off that mask and hopefully rip off his glasses too so he can't see to attack us back.
Okay. Go for it.
Right. 3.
So you got a 3. Do you have anything that adds to that?
No, I don't think I can push it like that. I mean, maybe you could maybe say jury rigging if I rip out one of the tools that's like embedded in me and like stab him with it while I'm doing this. That seems like a stretch though. I don't know about all that.
So I'm going to say you reach down and to grab his mask and his glasses, and you're able to pull his hood back, but you're not able to get his glasses. And you notice when you pull the hood back that there are wires going into his neck and head, and he turns and shoves his hand like this, and you go flying through the air and slam into the wall and slide to the ground, and your fright meter goes up.
All right. Fright meter now at a 4.
And now it's Casper's turn.
I'm going to try to escape again
Okay.
because he's got me pinned. Boo.
Well, you take the lowest one and add your dexterous, right? So that's even.
So it's 2. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So how do you escape?
Well, my phone flashlight worked out so well last time. I pull it out again and just hit him in the eyes with it.
Yeah, this does not have the same reaction to him that it does the wolves, but it does blind him momentarily, and he falls off of you, and he's shaking his head.
And I'd run towards Rodriguez.
Yeah. All right, Rodriguez, what do you do?
Now that I know he's partially mechanical, I'm looking for a way to get at those wires like on the back of his neck. I want to grab around for some kind of tool that fell off of his desk when I smashed it, like a small size hammer or something, and just try to throw it at his head.
Okay.
That's a 1. That did not work.
Yeah, you throw it, and it misses him by a mile. And he stands, and you see he's feeling his head, and he's trying to find something to put over his head. Like he's occupied at his desk. He's trying to get something back on to cover it.
Okay.
So that'd be Casper's turn.
I think it's time for physical violence again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try to knock him back down again because I need to get this fucker pinned down.
Okay. Go ahead.
2.
Yeah, so you run and dive at him trying to knock him over, and he just sidesteps you completely, and you go sliding off into the corner. And he turns and he faces Rodriguez, and he starts walking forward. And as he's walking forward, he says,
There's no more time for this. You must die now. Time is of the essence. It'll soon be morning.
and he's striding across the room towards you. And there's swirls of energy and just weird crap. And you see those little demons appearing near him again. What do you do?
Is this me or is this Casper?
Oh, yeah, it's you, Rodriguez. He's coming across towards you. You slammed up against that door, and you're laying down on the ground beside the door. You can escape, fight, or
And
do
we're
some
not,
action.
We're not close enough to each other that I can try to get my sword lit up again, huh?
No, I would say you're not.
Okay, I got an idea. I'm going to try to. There's all these little machine parts and canisters and shit laying around on the floor. I'm going to try and rig up a homemade hand grenade. make something with a little bit of fuel that can make a spark just real quick while I'm sitting there by the door, and just roll it across the floor at him.
Okay.
Black Hawk down that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got a 3.
+1.
Actually, no, I get a bonus to that. That's a 4.
Oh, nice.
I guess it doesn't matter. 3 and 4 are the same.
That's a partial success there. So you throw the Molotov cocktail, and it hits him, and it explodes. He's in flames, but so are the curtains. The whole room now is on fire. He's screaming, and sparks are shooting out of his neck. And he's just staggering around trying to pat out the flames as the building starts to burn. What do you guys do? I mean, this place has gone up like a torch. Whatever this energy is in here was like gasoline. And
Man, I think
it's
we
going to
gotta
burn you
stoke
up
this
too.
fire. Can we like Can we like take that bag of herbs, toss it, and run out the door?
You could try. Do an escape.
Yeah, yeah. I think let's do an escape and also stoke the fire at the same time.
Just like flame the weed out as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your low is even and my low is odd.
And do you have anything that gives you a bonus? Whoever got the odd.
MacGyver a contraption to spread the.
Yeah. What about if I MacGyver together a slingshot to shoot the small bag of herbs into the blaze?
Okay. Give it a try.
That would take the 1 to a 2. Or are you saying I should do a new roll?
No, you need to do a roll for that.
All right.
3 to a
Another
4.
3. Well, 3 to a 4. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that 4 gives you partial success, but there's a complication. So both of you pick up that sling, send it flying. It hits the bag. There's just a massive explosion. Casper makes it out the door and starts running down the hill, and you get blasted out the door and go flying through the air, hit the ground, rolling in flames.
Tell the story of what happened here, Casper.
Your rolling puts you out, but you are prone. And Casper, what do?
I pick him up.
You pick him up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where are you going?
Oh, and then we're going to run back to the town.
Okay. So as the mansion just bursts into flames, you hear screaming inside, you hear an explosion. The mansion, literally, there is a bright light behind it that opens, and then it's gone. Like the flames are sucked into it. Everything is gone. And we see Casper walking down the hill, carrying Rodriguez in his arms. And then both of you are just hit with this massive. Rodriguez doesn't feel anything because he's basically unconscious. But Casper, you get hit with this sick feeling that you felt before, and you start falling forwards. And as you do, you jerk your eyes open, both of you, and you're sitting in the movie theater, and you're staring at the screen and the end credits for the Curse of
The guy
Dr.
in the suit was
Night.
right.
And you look around, and there are people sitting there, and they're cheering. They're like, yay, what a great movie. You look over, the lawyer is gone. He's nowhere to be seen. And you hear this voice go, that was better than I thought. How about you folks? And everybody's like, yeah, that's awesome. There'll be a brief intermission before the next film. What do you do?
Roll for escape. Roll for escape.
You don't have to roll. You can just tell me what you're going to do.
I'm going to check for wounds.
You don't have any on you. So
I
you're
read
terrified,
My mechanic jumpsuit is still totally intact. There's not burn marks on it and shit.
Mm-hmm. But your fright meters are exactly the same place they were before. So what would you do?
Yeah, we got to get the hell out of here.
So you guys bolt out. So you run out of the theater.
Make for the doors.
And you look over and you see the
concessions guy.
You see the concession guy standing there perfectly still, but he raises one of his hands and slowly goes left to right, waving. And you two tear out of the building and run to your car. And you get in your car, and as you're driving down the road, film credits go up the screen. And the lights come on. And people start leaving this theater. There's this jock with his girlfriend. They walk out of the theater. The girl looks at him and says, that was a great movie. I loved that. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole concept of watching a movie about people watching a movie that gets sucked into a movie, that's just a bit much for me. And she goes, I don't know. I thought it was fun as they're walking past the box office, and in the box office is a man in a long coat and a wide brimmed hat who's staring out and just laughing maniacally. The end.
Yeah.
So
That one was just like one of them low budget horror movies, because at the very end they always get a little bit too cute.
yeah. So a couple of points to make here. We were supposed to go through 3 movies, but we ran out of time, so we were only able to get through The Curse of Dr. Knight. Maybe in the future we can play again and go through the rest, but I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
And also, the way this was written, it doesn't tell you how to kill Dr. Knight or what he's about or anything. And I had no idea, and I didn't think up anything. I was just going to leave it up to y'all to figure out how to kill Dr. Knight, and whatever you come up with was the truth. So I was just as clueless about Dr. Knight as you were. I just kept making up weird crap about him.
Does the way it's actually written, does it give you any kind of backstory about like the curse or something we're supposed to do to break the curse? Like, does any of that matter, or is it just kill Dr. Knight?
It says there is a curse. Dr. Knight has a cult and weird mechanical kinds of powers. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if there's supposed to be 3 of them, you can't do a big ass plot line for each one.
Right.
Yeah, we spend too much time shucking and jiving. We had to figure out what Giga Chad Blacksmith was all about.
Yeah.
Just saying, he's an interesting character.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, all the male leads have a crush on him.
Yeah. That was fun.
RPG Underground.